All right, so I want to welcome everyone for coming. This is our fifth forum for the analytics leadership community. And we can go to the next slide here. So today we have, the forum, right. Okay, so the forum is the meeting place for the analytics leadership community. And really what we want to have here is we want to have a cooperative environment where we share our business experiences and generate ideas and solutions really for the purpose of collaboration and learning from each other. You know, we have a lot of challenges in common, and we have some solutions that we've come up with that might help each other. And so it's really just a place to kind of get to know each other and help each other out. This is a tough time for all of us right now. So today we have two speakers. Our first is Uji Zong, and he is the Director of Customer Analytics here at FocusKPI. He's going to discuss some of our BI solutions that we have. It's really about designing dashboards for actionable insights. And I've used that phrase before, actionable insights. It's really about what can we take away from what we learn. It's not just about what can we learn, but what can we do with it. And then in lines of leadership, we have Lenore Cantor with us, and she is the president of Growth Warrior. And she's going to be talking about some effective leadership keys. What does it mean to be a good leader? How do you lead your department or your team or your company? Or how do you capitalize on what you can do so that more gets done and people feel comfortable? So at this point, I will turn this over to Uji, and welcome and thank you so much.
Thank you, Joseph. Hello, everybody. This is Yuji. Very happy to join the session today. Just a quick introduction about myself. I currently serve as the Director of Customer Analytics at FocusKPI. And I have been primarily focusing on data analytics, BI solutions, and predictive modeling in the past several years. And I have been support my employers and the client, ranging from retail, e-business, healthcare, all those kind of industries. So I'm very happy to be here today to share some of my experience about BI solutions. So let's turn to the next page. So at our company, our main focus here is to always provide our client a one-stop shop BI solution to drive actionable insights, like Joseph mentioned earlier. And with a number of clients we have been working with before, so we always have this process. So we help the client gathering data from all kinds of sources. This could be flat files, it could be their internal data warehouse, there could be open data source from different online channels, and we've been helping our client to consolidate all the data. So traditionally we've been using a lot in Oracle, Teradata, but in the past few years, one of the big trends we have been observing is more and more our clients are moving from the traditional relation database to cloud environment. So we've also used a lot of Amazon product in the past few years, and some other cloud integrated platform like Snowflake. We have also using that platform to help our client incorporate data, query data, and building a BI solution on top of that. And in terms of the BI tools, we have been using like Power BI, Tableau, Excel to produce all kinds of dashboard for our clients. Moving to the next slide. So just some of the quick overview about the dashboard we've been building in the past few years. So the dashboard we provide is ranging from some high-level executive summary for the senior leadership, some very tactical operational dashboard for the for different function team like sales, marketing, logistic, merchandising, and CRM. So the dashboard is not just only produce to tell you data, but also more importantly to provide actionable insights to our clients, so they can know what can be do to be more efficient or could drive incremental opportunity for their business. So next slide. So here I'm just gonna use a few examples to showcase how we help our clients. So the first example is a customer level insight dashboard we help with our client. So the main purpose is to help this retail business to understand at customer level what product and or categories driving our best performing customer. And is there any cross-sell opportunity for our target customer? For instance, if our client is targeting a certain group of customers, what are the top selling product for them, and is there any additional opportunity from product level to that can help them drive incremental opportunities? So this dashboard will provide a directly linked with their internal data warehouse, and also we help them standardize the product hierarchies, and the dashboard link all the data together and provide them this the BI solution. So it's very easy for them to use and give them a lot of flexibility to slice and dice the data and find out the incremental opportunity for their target customers. And the second example is a marketing campaign BI solution we provide to one of our e-business customer client. And so this dashboard also directly linked to their internal transactional database, and also connect with the Salesforce Marketing Cloud, which collect lots of their campaign information. So this dashboard helps the marketing team on their day-to-day perspective. This dashboard provides a full coverage of their conversion funnel from top to all the way to bottom. So they can literally track how their campaigns perform over time, and also the comparison between the different version of their campaign. And the opportunity, one of the things we are helping our client is to standardize a tracking code. So all the campaign tracking is standardized, and is very easier for them to at day-to-day operational level to monitor the performance, and also doing some A/B testing and other optimization works. So for this example, the revenue from email campaign has been growing over 50% since the dashboard is launched, because a lot of incremental opportunity can be found based on this BI dashboard. Yeah, if you guys have any question, always feel free to stop me. Because the previous two examples are all related to our client, so which is not very convenient to share their data. So here I'm just gonna bring the third example, which is the talent acquisition dashboard we are currently building, and the data is in a test environment, and we're running an internal pilot at our company. And we have the plan to move it to production in the near future. So here I'm just gonna share my screen and to show you guys in the test version of the BI dashboard I built for the talent acquisition solution. So a quick overview about the talent acquisition solution. So basically the data came from our company's the test environment, and which have as you can see here, there's over 11,000 candidates data across the country. So we basically leverage the data, and our development team, they have their machine learning algorithm to screen the candidate's resume to get their basic information, their skill sets, their working experience, and some other related information. So the first part is to provide some high-level information, as you can see here, with a certain time period. So you can see the size of the candidate across the country, and in the central area and on the side area, you can see the breakdown of multiple dimensions like geolocation, the recruiting source, the year of their working experience, their basic background, the breakdown of their background, and also based on their if this candidate is currently looking for opportunity or not. And this dashboard also provides some flexibility to let the client to slice and dice the data. For example, usually location is always one of the top preference for employers, because a lot of employers, they prefer local candidates or something like that. So you can always filter on the particular area for your interest. And meanwhile, we provide some other filters such as recruiting source, because this could be an example that for our external recruiters, if they have some specific partnership with a certain recruiting source, they can always just filter on the particular recruiting source. And some other filter like background, if you're looking for analytics candidate or versus business candidate or marketing candidate, so you can just leverage the filter on the right-hand side. So basically, this is the first part of the dashboard that just give you the highlight overview, just the high-level overview about the talent acquisition database. The second part is more to the recruiter's day-to-day job. So behind the data, our team developed a machine learning algorithm that based on the job description from our client, we will match against the skill set for all the candidates to this job and produce a score which is ranging from 0 to 100. 100 is the highest. So the score will automatically produced by the machine learning algorithm, and the client can easily identify if a candidate is a good fit to this position. And so this is basically the second view. So you can specifically check on the skill set and the qualification for the candidate. Because right now this is still an internal pilot. So here I'm only use one job as an example. So ideally, once we assign account to our client, all of them will have their particular account, and under their account, they will see a full list of the available job posting for their company. So when you select a particular, so for example here, this is just a dummy data, so nothing show up here. But when you select your target job posting, so in this example, I'm just using a data scientist opening from our company website. So it's directly link you to the job posting, so you can see what are the requirements from this position. And again, we have 11,000 in the test database, and all of the candidates will be scored based on the requirement from this job posting. So you can see their score along with their years of working experience. And for the target client, so they can always leverage, for example, here, because if you have a certain high criteria to filter on your candidate, so let's say if you want to only focusing on the candidate who has a score higher than 90, so you can just use the filter on the right hand side. So once you apply the filter, you'll see the number of candidates will decrease based on your criteria. And also, if you, for example, if you are a company based on California, you only want to look for local candidates. So the number will change based on the filter you select. In addition, on the right bottom side of the dashboard, you can see the skill set of the candidate you select, and on the list for every single candidate, so you can actually click on the candidate to see the difference of their skill set. Apparently, some of the candidates they may focus more on their coding experience in their resume, but some of the candidates, they might have both coding experience and also domain knowledge for database and modeling. And more importantly, on the bottom side, so because right now it's still in the test environment, so the link hasn't been established yet. But ideally, once the data is moving to production environment, every time you click a certain candidate, and we will offer you the link to navigate you to their specific resume. So for now, because the connection hasn't been established yet, so I just temporarily use our company homepage as a placeholder, but eventually they will link to your resume in the internal site. And meanwhile, also offer the functionality to export the information to PDF version for your future reference. So this is a tool that will help our client or partner recruiters to their day-to-day recruiting job. All right, so these are the three examples about how we collaborate with our client to provide the BI solution for their need. So the next page is just a general engagement process usually we have. So we always follow.
Can I interrupt you for a moment?
Sure.
There was a question in the chat asking about the design of the dashboard itself.
Okay.
Just sort of about how you came up with that design and how it kind of came together.
Yeah. So I think thank you for the question. This is a very good question actually, and I think the question also at some level is aligned with this engagement model. I'm just gonna quickly talk about. So the design of the dashboard. First of all, there's always some best practice that you can find some articles or there are some popular books to talk about how to better visualize data, how to build a dashboard. But more importantly, in the real work, because you're gonna spend a lot of time with your client. And for our internal team, so we always follow this certain engagement model to make sure we answer the right business question and to make sure we have the right scope for our client. And in terms of the design dashboard, there's always check and balance with the client to make sure they can understand the data and this is the view or layout they want. So there are some iterations back and forth just to make sure the client is completely on board and also sign up with the BI solution we provided. For the number 3 example I just shared earlier, so that one is more internal project. So this one did not have too much involvement with client. But the use case number 1 and number 2, so that contains a lot of back and forth with our client. So because all those design and those dashboard building, the ultimate goal is to make sure the business can fully adopt it and they can actually use it on their day-to-day work.
We had another question, Kiminuji. It says, how do people kind of take the business insights from the dashboard? So we saw the dashboard, we saw the information that was in it, and people who are familiar, actually I'll do this. People who are familiar with the familiar with data and understanding data and pulling insights, it's a little bit almost second nature for us to kind of see those and ask those kind of questions. But for those who aren't familiar with the business, or for those who aren't familiar with data in general, what sort of tips would you give them to when looking at a dashboard like that?
So one example is I've been working with a client. The project is to help them to build a call center dashboard. And they have the call center. It's a national retail business in America, and they have the call center across the country. Over 50 directors under the call center around the different area of the country. The main challenge is you need to provide a one-stop solution for all the teams. And to begin, and just like the question you mentioned, so most of them are just a totally sales or business background. They do not have any analytics background. To begin with, we sit together with the client to review how they track their day-to-day work for now, and what are their KPI for their measurements. For example, the call response time. They have a certain KPI, and also they have their after call survey score, stuff like that. So first of all, the step one is to review the existing solution for their team, and then we take whatever they have, and we're gonna propose some solution based on our evaluation. So my experience is we always start with one or two, the most important KPI. What will be the ultimate measures that's gonna determine your annual performance or something else? So we always start with that. And surrounding with the main KPI, then we're gonna consult with our client what is your future goal in the next year or 2 years. So in order to reach that goal, so is there any additional measurement you need to add it to the dashboard? And during the process, it's very important for you to get aligned with all the teams in the call center. So after everybody is on board, then we move into the actual development of the dashboard. So it's always about the communication, and I think it's okay for your business stakeholder that they're not in analytics background, but you should always have something that you can start with, some one or two KPI, and you can extend it based on that.
So if you have one or two KPIs and you're looking at those KPIs, how do you know what it's telling you? I think that's where the question was.
How do you tell what?
Do you know how to understand the data? So I would say, for instance, look, if there's a big drop, think about your marketing plan and would that have affected the KPIs that you see, or if you see big differences year over year. So, what other tips do you have for non-technical people when they're just looking visually at the data to say, oh, that's a question I need to ask?
I see. So for those detailed questions, so during the dashboard development, so we will have a couple of dry run to make sure we can cover we can cover most of the usual question they encounter during their day-to-day work. For example, your sales suddenly drop for a certain week, then in the dashboard, we cover all the usual dimensions that you usually check. For example, your sales breaking down by or the key departments, or the sales divided breaking down by your certain area, by marketing channel. So those, to make sure we cover those important dimension or measures in the dashboard. And usually, because 80-20 rules, because one dashboard can answer most of the usual questions. So in addition to your question, Joseph, earlier, so if I remember correctly, so in the call center solution we had before, so when you say we saw the KPI change all of a sudden the KPI significantly change. So so under this main KPI, usually we have a certain sub KPI or a certain branch, which is usually breaking down by different dimensions. So we always start with that and make sure the dashboard can cover those. For the detailed tactical perspective, for your design of the dashboard, for example, if you have so many dimensions, are you really going to show everything in one dashboard, or there's some best practice you can collapse? So those are very detailed questions, but we always start with the those business questions and see what's the best solution that can fit the business need. So for example, the call response time, which is the one of the KPI for the call center, and because they have so many different types of the calls, so you need to make sure you have a right hierarchy of the call category, and for each of the subcategory there might be different goals, because some calls is just naturally can take longer than for example a chronic medication calls usually take a very long time than some web experience phone call. So people, if they have question about their online experience, online registration, so those calls usually take shorter time. So you need to make sure you collect enough business input before setting up your measurement and also setting up the goals.
Knowing your data to begin with, knowing what's being fed into the dashboard is important. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I think that was a great overview. I liked seeing what we have. I hope that helped other people kind of understand what possibilities are out there for dashboards. And if we could go to the next slide. All right, so I'd like to introduce Lenore Cantor, President of Growth Warrior. She will speak to us on the keys to effective leadership. Lenore, it's all yours. Take it away.